You might think that men have it easy. They don't have to worry about societal pressures to look a certain way, wear certain things, or do certain things. Men can just be men, right? Well, not exactly. As you probably know from personal experience, being a man in today's world is challenging in some ways. Because of the rise of feminism and the changing role of men in society, men are under more pressure than ever before to live up to a very narrow standard of what it means to be a man. So even though they don't need to think about their appearance as much as women do, men are now forced to think about those things almost all the time and make sure they measure up on some level. Men are also facing new challenges when it comes to dating and relationships. Traditionally masculine qualities like chivalry and assertiveness aren't as valued by women as before. With so many roles reversed and so many old rules broken, how does any modern man know who he is anymore? What is it that makes him a man instead of something else? The answer lies in an ancient idea: archetypes. Once you know where you fall, you can begin working on your weaker points so that your life becomes more balanced and fulfilling. Let's take a look at the 8 masculine archetypes and see which one applies to you. Number 1. The warrior. This archetype has been around since the dawn of humanity. The warrior is the protector of the people. He is brave and aggressive, and he defends his tribe against the enemy. Men who embody this archetype tend to be very competitive, often putting themselves first to protect the people they love. You might think of the typical dumb jock when you think of the warrior archetype, but it goes far beyond sports. While the magician is the creative-minded archetype, and the caregiver is the compassionate one, the warrior is the one who protects and provides for the tribe. He is the one who goes out and makes sure that everyone is fed and taken care of. He is the one who makes sure that his tribe survives. Number 2. The magician. The magician is like a shaman or a wizard. He uses his creativity to make the impossible possible. His gift is in bringing together seemingly disparate elements and making something new out of them. This archetype is very common among artists and musicians, but it also exists in many other professions as well. Men who embody this archetype tend to be very creative and intuitive. They are also very open-minded. In fact, they are often so open-minded that they lack a specific focus. If a magician doesn't find his passion and hone in on it, he could end up flitting from one idea to the next without ever fully committing himself to anything. Number 3. The lover. The lover is the archetype of romance. He is a man who is deeply in touch with his emotions and who is willing to put his heart on the line for the woman he loves. He is the one who is willing to do anything for his partner out of pure devotion, even if it means sacrificing his desires for her. Men who embody this archetype tend to value emotional connection over everything else in a relationship. They are often very sensitive and emotional themselves and can be prone to moodiness when things don't go the way they want them to. Because of this, lovers often have a hard time finding a partner who can handle their strong emotional needs. Number 4. The sage. The sage is the archetype of wisdom. He is the one who has seen a lot of life and has a lot of knowledge to share with the rest of the tribe. While the warrior is the one who protects and the magician is the one who creates, the sage is the one who guides and teaches others how to survive. The sage archetype is often found in professors and teachers, but it can also be found in other professions where the man has to share his knowledge with others. Men who embody this archetype tend to be very introspective and thoughtful. They also tend to be very humble, perhaps even to a fault, as many sages are too modest to share their wisdom with others. Number 5. The caregiver. The caregiver is the archetype of compassion and empathy. He is the one who heals the sick and cares for the weak. He is the one who looks out for the rest of the tribe and makes sure that no one is left behind. While the warrior is the protector and the magician is creative, the caregiver is the one who takes care of everyone else. He is the one who makes sure that everyone is fed, clothed, and taken care of in whatever way he can. Caring for others is the caregiver's greatest strength, but it is also his greatest weakness. Unlike the other archetypes, the caregiver's gift is less about himself and more about others. As a result, he can be taken advantage of easily, especially by those closest to him. Number 6. The King. The King is the archetype of leadership. He is the one who inspires everyone around him to go out and achieve great things. The King is motivated by a desire to be great himself, but he also wants to make his tribe great. He doesn't just want to lead his people, he wants to make them leaders as well. Men who embody this archetype tend to be very ambitious, sometimes to the point of being ruthless. They want to succeed, and they want to make sure that they are the best at what they do. Unlike the magician, who is motivated by creativity, and the sage, who is motivated by wisdom, the King is motivated by pride. He wants to be the best, and he wants everyone else to be the best as well. Number 7. The Entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the archetype of creativity and business. He is the one who sees an opportunity and goes out and creates a path to it. He is the creative, innovative force in society who always has a new idea to try. Men who embody this archetype are often very restless and impulsive. They react quickly to events in the world and try to make something out of them before anyone else does. They are quick to jump from one idea to the next, rarely settling on one thing long enough to see it through. Number 8. The Visionary. The visionary is the archetype of inspiration. He is the one who sees what others can't and who inspires others to see it too. The visionary is an artist whose gift is expressing himself and bringing his vision to life. Men who embody this archetype are often artistic and creative, but their creativity is directed towards a specific goal. The visionary wants to make the world a better place and inspire others to do the same. He is often a great leader and a great communicator, and he uses both of these skills to encourage others to do what they dream of doing. Archetypes are ancient ideas that are still very relevant today. The 8 masculine archetypes are the warrior, magician, lover, sage, caregiver, king, entrepreneur, and visionary. Each of these archetypes has its strengths and weaknesses, and each has its place in society. By identifying which archetype you most closely relate to, you can better understand who you are and what your place in the world is. It's important to keep in mind that there is no right or wrong archetype. Each man has a different combination of characteristics that make him who he is. The only thing that matters is that you accept who you are and use your gifts to make the world a better place. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, so that you don't miss out on our next video on how to scale up as a man. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.